Hello YouTube. I'm going to talk a little bit about zero turn motors in general. If you're out there going to go purchase one for the spring. Uh, Again, I think I've had about 6 or 7 different models that I've had that's come through my hands, over the years. Um, I'm going to tell you the absolute worst mower I've ever had, zero turn. I had a Cub Cadet back in 2004, 2005. I come across. It was like a homeowner's model, residential model. Pretty poor mower, even for just kind of basic home use. It wasn't the greatest. Nothing against Cub Cadet itself, just it didn't really have the good hydro pumps and the wheel motors, and the engine was like a Briggs homeowner model Briggs. I'm not real into those. Next one I had a Dixie Chopper at one point in time in my life. It had like a Kohler command engine, decent engine. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of rough. It was definitely the fastest zero turn I've ever mowed in my life, but it was older, needed a little bit of work. I really don't feel like I could rate it real well. I'm gonna say Dixies are good stuff. They do make good mowers. Same thing for Cub Cadet. They do. Just get the commercial grade models, in my opinion, because you'll do better. Better wheel motors, better engines, better decks, whole deal. I'm gonna start getting into some of the other stuff I've run across. I'll tell you this: the Toro Z Master 400 was the top mower I ever had, zero turn, as in what I've explained earlier. Best deck, best engine, best power, best weight to the ground. Had the ropes, had the good wheels and tires. Just all around a good heavy machine. Um, Next thing I can say is I reviewed earlier a John Deere 737 that I had. Okay, stamped deck, you know, weaker wheel motors, weaker pumps in my opinion. I mean, it was great, don't get me wrong, but still not the quality I felt the Toro was. 23 horsepower engine, like I said earlier, but no ropes. Um, Another one I had just very briefly was a Snapper Pro. Uh, God, I think it might have been 2010. It was a SX 200, I believe, 61-inch cut. That's an outstanding unit too. I rated up there next to the Toro. It was high quality. I would definitely not be afraid to purchase a Snapper Pro. I'm gonna do a video later on, some point in time, here in the near future, on the Snapper Pro walk behind, which I do have currently now. But I would say the Snapper Pro is a highly good. I would highly recommend it. I'm gonna go back to 2005 as the Power Equipment Show in Louisville, and I tried out a Kubota. I think it might have been like a ZD 221 or something at that time. Outstanding unit. Never owned one, but cut with it. It was great. Heavy duty deck, the whole 9 yards. I think it had a Kubota gas engine on it, which is rare, but it was top quality. Another one I run in the past, and I run one this past summer in Ohio. Dillard, let me run one. At one point in time, was a SX150 Snapper Pro, or it's an SW150. It's one or the other. I have to look. I got a brochure on it. Again, I'm not saying this and that about Snapper Pro, but it was definitely the quality you would think. In my opinion, Snapper Pro is one of the better units that's out there on the market today. The one I was on, I think it was a 22 horsepower Briggs, which again, I'm not a Briggs guy, but it was one of the commercial grade Briggs with the new filtration systems on the air filter, had the rope system, had a 52-inch cutting deck, a good seat, a seat belt, the whole 9 yards, good lift. You want to look for one that the deck can lift on, greasable spindles, and so on and so forth. I've had people that, well, before I go on with that, I want to add that at one time I tried out I believe it was a Skag. It was like the orange models. I don't see them very often, but I tried a Skag. It might have been a Freedom Z. I don't remember the numbers, so I really don't want to review it, but I did try one out one time at a auction. I was putting a bid in on it and got to try it out, and it seemed like a very good unit. You know, it did have some higher hours. I would watch before I was to buy a used zero turn. I wouldn't really buy anything with over 1,100 to 1,200 hours. You can look at other sites and things and understand how they work, but with the hydro pumps, the wheel motors, and so forth, you can get into a lot of money if you got to replace that stuff. Most air-cooled engines, if the air filters are replaced when they need to be, the oil's been changed, you keep good fuel in them, you can usually get 1,500 hours. People say it's impossible, but you can get 1,500 to 2,000 hours. You can out of a Kawasaki or Kohler Command engine. They are built for that. The main thing is getting good air to them. Every dealer, every manufacturer will show you good air on an air-cooled engine will save them. There's no radiator. Okay, there's nothing there. They're not liquid-cooled. They're air-cooled. The cleaner the air, the cleaner the oil, the cooler that engine's going to run. Okay, now people can argue that all day long, but I've tore down a lot of them. Now, 15 years ago, my dad, he, was in the industry, and he depended on Kohler Command engines. My dad made his living off Kohler Command engines. I believe in them too. I think they're great. I have one on my welding unit, my welder generator combo. Great. Kohler Commands, excellent engines. The Kohler Courage engines, I've been hearing bad reviews on them. They were the ones like Kubota's putting on their new Commander. Also, that's what Bad Boy's putting on their Tractor Supply models. I probably stay away from the Kohler Commands. Or the Kohler Commands are the best. I meant the Kohler Courage. I'm sorry on that. But the Kohler Courage, I definitely probably would think twice on that. Now, I've had some people to tell me that the new Briggs ICs, commercial grade Briggs, like what Snapper Pro is putting on some of their newer Z turns today, I've been told that they are outstanding motors. The quality's come a long way. Again, you will never go wrong with the Kawasaki. Thank you.